Should have checked, shouldn't I?
He's fully green, so I'm guessing he's the host.
Apologies about that one, ladies and gentlemen. The LAN cable decided to come undone from the back of the screen, but we are back live, so glad you can join us, glad you can hear us once again. We are back live, we are here to go, and we're looking forward to this qualifying. Dan, I don't believe there's anybody on a qualifying ban tonight.
No, I don't believe there is either. A little bit. Tell you what, the Pro-Ams are very good last week at Hockenheim. They're well behaved. I've got to give them that. No, not too many detentions for them. So it's all looking good for this one. No qualifying bans for anyone. Just trying to figure out the exact order that these guys are coming out of. I think I got a gist of who is where. But it's going to be an interesting one, and I think the car to beat tonight has got to be those Ginettas. They are looking strong here tonight.
They are looking strong here tonight. Dean Wysocki, that Bozzy boy, the last two in the pits once again, and aren't yet coming out on the track. So maybe giving themselves a bit of track space, which might not be the worst thing in the world around this circuit.
Possibly not. As what were the lap records once again, Matthew, for Pro and the Pro-Am?
Lap records in the Pro-Am around this circuit go the way of Ben Parker, the 158.7 in the qualifying, and Andy in the qualifying for the Pro, a 158.0. So they're the benchmarks to beat if they want a lap record, but we'll have to see what happens in this one then.
I think it's going to be a tall order for anybody to beat those lap times here tonight, especially with the night as well. Might make it a bit more difficult for these guys to get tyre temp and get them into that perfect window, as there is a car now leaving the pits. I'm not sure who that is, but Dean is now on his way out, as that Buzzy boy's now leaving the pits. So it's going to take him a while to get up to temperature, but it is going to be a Lucas Roth who is going to be the first man to cross the line.
And you know something, Dan? I think they've missed a trick there, because if they are running the hard tyre, with 2 minutes already gone, you look at Lucas Roth, he's already got the temperature, or getting the temperature. Keep that out of the wall, Keegs. Go again, use it as another sort of outlap. They've wasted an opportunity, Dan, to get a lap time on the board. They've wasted 2.5 minutes of Dean and Liam, really lost a lot of time. So Little Each then will be the first man to cross the line and get a time in. And look, 2.5 minutes that everybody's lost before they start their first flying lap. Dean and Liam are only not even at sector 2 yet on their outlap, so they've got a long way to go before they can get them heat into them tyres and make sure they go for it. Unless, of course, they've gone for the softs. So they will, obviously be a bit happy. Sooty said that them wins don't count. Sooty, they count for the car, but I will. If you want to say they don't count for me, that's fine. But they count for the car statistics, not for my statistics, if that's how you want to say it. But good evening to you, Sooty Apex. Nice to see you in the chat. 24 people currently watching, 12 likes on the stream. And Little Leach, he's going to be the first man to take us across the line. Dan, your tip for pole position?
Oakbar for tonight. I think Oakbar's looking good in that Ginetta.
I'm going to say this, man. He braked in practice and went just over a second slower than Oakbar. So I'm going to say this, man, because I think he's got a little trick up his sleeve.
I reckon Ukbar's holding something as well. I think he's got something under his belt also. But we'll see what happens. Can the Flying Dutchman take it here in the Czech Republic? Or can the Cornish... Cornish?
Cornish. Scottish.
Well, sadly I'm not on track. The Scottish... me or Kelly are on track. And whoever's
Can you say that about Kelly?
What's that?
Did you say he's Cornish?
Well, we're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that because I know he'll get upset. But I know that Netflix or something was starting
Sky.
Or PlayStation Sky or something was asking who killed KLF, and we're not exactly sure. And I would like to know as well, because he is my father. But we are coming into the.
Hopefully nobody.
Hopefully he'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be here tomorrow. Yeah. It might be a documentary series. They might be streaming the race tomorrow night. And that could be an indication for what's going to happen to Kelly tomorrow night on the track. But we hope not.
Maybe they're documenting what happened last week.
Yes, possibly so. Dan,
we know who did it.
Yes, indeed so. And Plava. Dan, just looking at Ugbar then, he's just come back out the pit lane after must have been made a mistake, because he's only just left the pits. He's going to have to give way to the oncoming traffic if they catch him from behind. So him and Dean have had to return to the pits and come out again. As lap times come in, Lucas Roth at 2:01.4. He's gone back to the pits. Little Leach at 2:01.6. Holty and Bryn 2:02s, 2:03s. Stovestoff and Welshie in the 2:04s at the minute. Good evening to Peaceful Stepdad. And Emplar saying himself, I did if you remember. We do remember. We all saw it on the stream as DJ Phil goes down into P5 at the minute. Here comes JM Grill as Bryn is on his way back out of the pits. JM Grill slots into P7, and I think it might be that Bozzy Boy the next to finish a lap. No, it's not. He's a bit further down the pack, so I know it's Smithy. There we go.
There is Smithy, and he's on his way up the hill, and he's got too deep. He's got very deep there. That's really ruined the next part of the track for him. And the two leading cars that came out on track first are the cars at the top of the table. So Shane right there once again. He's just finding more and more pace each week as we go to different circuits, and a circuit where he's going to have to really work on his twitchy driving skills will be the next round of the championships, will be Daytona. Get rid of all that downforce and try and make the car as fast in a straight line as you possibly can. As Smithy crosses the line and goes P8, it's going to be Dean Wasaki and next as well, where this car should be very dominant at Daytona, but it doesn't look very dominant here as he goes across the grass.
I do believe Dean's on an outlap, and that is one heck of a spin. And if Dean's on the hard tyres, that is the problem. And he's gone back to the pits, Dan. So instead of just getting onto the track and carrying on, he's gone back to the pits. So all that tyre preparation he's just done, he's now out the window. Bozzy Boy jumps up to P4 with a good opening lap. So Dean and Ukbar, no laps in yet. Dean's gone back to the pits with 3.5 minutes remaining. He's just came out. All his tyre preparation, that spin. Ukbar's done the same thing.
Oh no, this is not working
all
out
the tyre preparation that Dean and Ukbar have done. Dean's tyres would have probably been in a better window after the spin because they'd have been hotter. Ukbar's gone back to the pits as everybody's coming through to get a second flying lap in. Shane's back in the pits as well, so hopefully he can get back out for one final run. Evening to the Overtaker. Petition for a 15-minute qualifying. Probably petition denied because it's 10 minutes. We can look at that for next season though. It's 10 minutes for the whole season. Holty pits as well into P5. Stovestoff 11th. Lucas Roth stays P1. Didn't improve. DJ Phil stays 6th, so he's not replicating his pace from qualifying 1. JM Grill puts himself up into P3 now, and that is Bryn in the background. Does he move from P8? I don't think he did. But Dan, no pace from DJ Phil at the minute, and Ukbar and Dean not yet set a lap time.
This isn't good for Ukbar and Dean. They need to get these lap times done now. There's no messing around. You've got to survive the lap. Whether it's slow or not, at least get a lap time on the board. I think most drivers in this championship know that the most important thing here is to get a lap time on the board. That's the first thing you do.
Especially when it's such a long circuit like this one. You do not want to mess around in a 10-minute qualifying. Overtaker, just to say, by the way, it'll be great to have you back tomorrow night because I did kind of miss you last week. Smithy then comes to the line. P10 at the minute. Stovestoff and Holty in the pits. They are done. Evening to Fury's mum in the chat. Smithy goes to 8th. There's a car in the wall, Dan says. Was that Dean Wasaki or that Bozzy Boy?
That Bozzy Boy.
Was it?
JM Grill is done. Holty done. Welshie and Stovestoff, that's the best that they can do. They will not be able to get out and complete a lap time. Who is now next coming to the line? Is Dean finally going to get a lap time on the board? That is the question towards the line.
It's an outlap, isn't it?
So this is it. This is it. So yeah, sometimes even though if you've done an outlap, it still registers as a lap time. Yeah, it still registers, yeah. So Ukbar now coming out, and I don't know what these guys are playing at.
Ukbar didn't look that fast coming out of that first part of the track there. So Ukbar and Dean have one lap to prove it. Shane's gone up into... Shane's dropped to P4 after James Grill has gone 3rd. Drivers in the pits will not get another lap in. Who will be the last man to probably get a lap in? I think from the position he's in. Where's Smithy? I think he's just come in... Is that Smithy behind Little Leach on the track map? I think it might be. It is. So Smithy might not get another run in from there. Lucas Roth, no improvement, loses out by a 10th, and he could be the man for pole. That is DJ Phil in the background. What can he do before Bryn comes to the line? No improvement for DJ Phil, so we're not seeing him at his best. Bryn, down in 9th place at the minute, finds 9/10 of a second, up to 6th place on the grid. We've then got Shane who's crossing the line, it looks like. Is this an outlap or is this a flyer? Looked to be a bit of an outlap. It was an outlap. 4 minutes, 29 seconds is what it's taken him. Little Leach then.
Little Leach next. It's going to be Little Leach.
I think Smithy is going to be the first one to finish here, Dan.
Possibly so, as a Little Leach crosses the line with 11 seconds to go, and he goes top of the table. 2 minute 8 there. Little Leach sets the bar. He says, come on now, Keegs, let's see what you got. I've got one more left in me, as Smithy will be the first to finish his lap time, and Little Leach setting the bar. Can Smithy join him on the front row? He crosses the line and goes up to 8th place. So he gets ahead of DJ Phil.
I think it's Dean Wasocki, the next car to come across the line. It is going to be Dean Wasocki. Just needs to get to the end of this lap. Just needs to get a lap time on the board. Dean Wasocki at the minute, who's a decent qualifier, let's not forget. He averages 6th place. He's had 3 poles this year. His Q1 best is a P2. Dean and Ukbar, as Ukbar's had an almighty slide there. These two don't have a time on the board yet. They've got to do something. Lucas, JM Grill, That Bozzy Boy, Smithy, Welshie and Stelzloff all done. Little Each will be the last man to cross the line. What can Dean Wasocki do? Anything on the board is better than nothing. Can he get ahead of them 2 Lamborghinis at the very end here? No, 12th place. What about Ukbar? Is he going to snatch pole away? It's not good enough. It's 2nd place.
What a shock there. Ukbar does not go in pole position. Holty bails for the piss, so he's obviously thinking better of it. The next man to come across the line is DJ Phil, who was up there with his teammate. Can he get himself back up there? It's going to be the 2 Crash Bros left over as well. DJ Phil
Little Leach. No, he's pitted.
He's done. As see a car on the background, I think that was Bryn just taking out the tyre wall, so he's going to lose a little bit of performance here. But DJ Phil, has he improved?
No, stays 10th. That is a big shock. What about Bryn to the line? He stays 7th, so no improvement for him. Shane, can he improve on that P5? Maybe put it on the front row? No, he can't. According to my phone, he stays P5. So Little Leach takes only his 2nd pole position of the season. And when you need every championship point, Dan, that's the way to do it, because he's got it there in absolute style. Great stuff for him. For Ukbar, though, it's P2, and what could have been maybe for him in this after that fantastic practice session. The rest of the grid, Dan, talk us through while I input these results, because obviously I'm not the host lobby at the minute.
Well, let's have a run through of the grid. We will go trackside to have a look. It is going to be a Little Leach who starts on pole position on the front row with the Flying Dutchman of Ukbar. Can he get a good start and lead into turn 1? The man hunting down Little Leach in the championship will start 3rd on the grid with JM Grill alongside him, 2 Mercedes on the 2nd row with the Audi of Shane, who's just improving each round in P5. That Buzzy Boy gets a lap time in on P6, so he's got a good opportunity trying to make his way up through the grid as well, with Bryn in 7th ready to help his team out when needed. The other Teletubby Motorsport driver of Holty currently in 8th place position, with the Polesman's teammate Smithy currently in 9th place. DJ Phil with good opportunities in the Ginetta, didn't deliver here in qualifying. He will start in 11th place position, with Welshie starting in 11th. 12th will go the way of Stelzloff, and bringing up the rear is Dean Wasocki. And Matt, this is going to be an interesting race for sure. It's all going to be about who can make it clean through turn 1 and turn 3. And I'm looking at the 2 in the front row. I think the Mercedes are going to struggle here, so it's down to really Ukbar and Little Leach for this race.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dan. I think it is down to them 2 for the win of this race, and we'll have to see which one of the 2 will take it. But they'll be the first 2 to see the tyre walls. If they touch them tyre walls, we know how devastating they can be. Remember, as I said about the Ginetta, can go on to 20 poles with the McLaren and could possibly beat the McLaren? What we didn't say was what we didn't say was the Audi, that it was tied on 19 pole positions with, is now tied with the McLaren and could beat the McLaren.
God. I don't know if I want to get back in a Porsche or back in a McLaren. I just don't know now.
I tell you what, you might want to go in the Bentley, the Mercedes SLS, or the Nissan GTR. They've never had a pole position. There's a challenge.
What about the Aston Martin?
I've not actually added the Aston Martin to any of them lists, nor the Cadillac. It's just occurred to me, which also don't have a win or a pole position. But enough about what
hasn't readied up.
Oh no, you are joking! So he's going to lose out on major points. It's green and go for the first race. Bozzy Boy gets a demon start from the 3rd row and is already splitting Lucas Roth and JM Grill as they head down towards turn 1. No ready up for Ukbar, and that Bozzy Boy into the first corner, up into P2. Little Leach got a great start, but Bozzy Boy got an even better one. Lucas Roth from JM Grill, bit of a wiggle. That's Smithy running very deep. Dean's also looks like he's got a good start. Up ahead of Stelzloff and ahead of of Smithy as Holty now under pressure from both of the Audis of the Super Crash Bros, who look like one has gone up the inside of the other. That's Bryn who's gone up the inside of Shane, and that is Bryn who I think has had a bit of a spin.
Sorry, Matt, I'm having a bit of a sneeze, but you might have to carry on.
So Bryn then drops down to the back of the pack. We've lost Ukbar. That is an Audi of Little H who's gone wide, and that is Shane who's tried to go through the middle of JM Grill and Lucas Roth. Holty's had a problem. Where's that Bozzy boy? He's dropped to 11th. So it's all happening. Shane looking for the lead and has lost out massively and he's gone off. Dean from the back of the pack, halfway through lap 1, is P4. So it just goes to show how good Dean's been in a minute. Bryn's got caught up in an incident as well as Ukbar in the chat. How stupid. I forgot to ready up. Bit of a Charles Leclerc there, if you ask me, as I don't know if that's a flash of the lights or something just glitching, but it's Lucas Roth from Little Eats, from Welshie, from Dean at the moment, from 12th place up to 4th. Dean, Stovesoft, DJ Phil, all in a little battle, but this man, Dan, on the podium again at the moment.
We're going to see another father...
Little Eats! Round he goes, and it's a father-son 1-2 here again.
Keeks, why can't you have enough fuel and race this in Life 2? That's all I'm going to say. We're going to have a chat with Carlin, because this is what we want to see. The Welsh father and son duo leading the way with Little Each. The pole man currently in third with Dean Wasaki, but he's under massive pressure here from Stealth Sloth, who's also had a great start to this race as well. DJ Phil in 6th and Shane on a recovery. When does the pit window open again, Matt? I believe it's lap 4.
End of lap 4, the pit window opens. So for these drivers who's got some damage, JM Grill, no rear wing, so he might be able to come in and box early. As there, Holty gives him a bit of a tap up the rear, and JM Grill now will probably find himself in the pits this lap. That Bozzy boy who got a demon start down in 11th place, did he get caught up in some incident? And JM Grill is coming in, and rightly so. With that 100% damage on the back, we'll get away with that one, pitting very, very early as everybody else carries on their way. That Bozzy boy goes up another place. I think that looks like Bryn slowing down to maybe come into the pit lane.
It is indeed. So Bryn will have to provide evidence to prove that he has sustained enough damage.
Yeah, or pit again, as
he's missed his box there. Well,
he's been having problems with the pit stops recently. He had to do we thought he had a drive through at Silverstone Classic. He had problems last week at Hockenheim, if you remember. And Stealth Sloth then losing out just a little bit to Dean Wasaki, loses out a lot to Dean Wasaki after that whittle through the mid corner, and that will give DJ Phil P5. Shane coming round to maybe take the P7 in this one at the moment. No, Stealth Sloth gets on just before him. Dean then currently lapping a little slower than the front runners on that first lap, but he came through the carnage. Bozzy boy up to 10th on the back of Little Smith, on the back of Big Smith here, sorry. And is he going to look up the inside? I tell you what, he is. And that Bozzy boy, Dan, for the fans at home, is racing on a very broken Thrustmaster T150. It's cracked on the sort of upper left where the handle sort of meets. And it's trapped a wire and snapped one of the wires, so his buttons are very temperamental and sometimes don't work. So he's driving on a very broken wheel. Apparently at times he can request a pit stop, apparently at times he can't request a pit stop. So we'll have to see what Bozzy boy can do this week.
Well, it's not really the end of the world if you want to request or not. You just come in the pits and they'll be ready for you, really.
But he's saying it affects he can't do his pit strategy on the pit menu when he's driving, he can't flash the lights, he can't do his wipers. So
all stuff you don't really need anyway.
Well, depends if you need to change something on the fly. Stealthsloth did have the moment there. Here comes Shane, tucked up the inside. Look, Holty might make this one 3 abreast. He's going to think about it with the power of that Mercedes, but that gap quickly closes. And has this man made a mistake at turn 1 because Welshie is all over the back of him? Now then, Dean Wasaki's pace not great, neither is Ukbar's. What's happened to Holty? He got up a place there. I know it's Stealthsloth who's lost out a place to Holty, who goes right around the outside, but the other two teammates at Teletubby Motorsport and MC Motorsport are battling it out. Welsh Senior and Welsh Junior, father and son, and this is absolutely fun. Right, no, neither would I. If I was the mother and wife of Welsh Senior and Welsh Junior, I'd be making sure that cool heads are all around, because Senior Welsh, he's put in the Junior Welsh under immense pressure. Having a little look there was Welshie on board Little Leach's car. Back to Holty. He's now having a look on Shane. Does he go up the inside? He brakes early. Shane gives him plenty of room and respect, and Holty tries to tuck up the inside. Can Shane keep around the outside? Bozzy Boy drifting it around the corner. Well held from him as he's gaining. Bozzy Boy actually gaining pretty quickly on them three in front of him, Dan.
Yeah, they're too busy fighting with one another as well. She runs very wide down, and I don't know if she's on the pad. He's already running wheel now for full time.
I think he's running wheel full time.
Yeah, so just a little bit running wide there, probably getting a bit too eager on the power, and has just lost a little bit of time to Keegs there. I think Keegs may have just overcooked it in turn one and had a moment, and that's allowed his father to get onto the back of him, as Shane is still on the back of Holty right now. That Bozzy Boy's actually lost out to self-stop here, so he's made a mistake somewhere.
He has made a mistake somewhere. As Shane comes through them, look at Bryn's outlap compared to JM Grill's. A 2:29 for JM Grill and Bryn a 2:55. So, bit of a poor lap from Bryn on his outlap. Did that just show how much damage Bryn actually had? Was his pit box after the line, I wonder? As Welshie then, P7 at the moment, coming round that, P2, coming round that final corner. Has lost a bit of time to Keegs in this final one, but if this is where Keegs made the mistake last time around, well then Welshie will be licking his lips. You see on the lap times, look, Keegs lost a lot of time, must have, at turn one, because he didn't really put a foot wrong elsewhere, did he really, that we saw?
He looks very nervous through turn one as well. He's on and off the brakes constantly. Is here. Welshie just keeps it pinned, and obviously the car doesn't like that. It runs wide, understeers like mad. But Keegs, on the other hand, brake, and brake again. He's unsure about that brake pedal as that Bozzy Boy goes down the inside of DJ.
Oh, what's
Phil.
happened to Phil? Because Phil was running just behind Dean Wasocki in P5, and now he's been passed by Bozzy Boy for P9. So DJ Phil must have had a moment somewhere. Was a couple of seconds off the back of Dean Wasocki, and he's had a moment somewhere then, Dan, 'cause he's now behind that Bozzy Boy, as Holty's now up to 5th, Shane 6th, and Stelfsloff 7th. Overtaker in the chat. This is the hardest track on the calendar, in his opinion. I'd have said Oschersleben, but I mean, I see where he's going with it being a difficult track.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Two of the circuits I've possibly picked. Always we see here Smithy looking to make a move on DJ Phil. He's going down the inside into.
I think Phil's hit something, Dan. I think Phil's hit something. Maybe a tyre wall.
Yeah, doesn't look happy, that car at all. But the hardest circuit on the calendar, I arguably say that this, to me, is one of the more easier ones in my opinion. But I would say Oschersleben is probably the hardest circuit this season.
Yeah, I'd agree with you with Oschersleben being one of the hardest tracks this season as they come through. In fact, I've not really enjoyed the last track either. I'm not a big Hockenheim fan, and it proved to be, always does prove to be difficult. And no matter what game I've driven it on, whether it's Formula 1 back in the day or Project Cars now, it always seems to be a bit of a bugger. As Bozzy Boy making some good progress here on the back now of Stelfsloff, so just seems to have made a couple of mistakes. And once, but this is Pro-Am, isn't it, I suppose, Dan? And look, that mistake there is very Pro-Am of drivers. It's got good pace to get on the back of of people and then just make one little mistake and off they go.
Yeah, definitely so, as now the pit window is open. So these guys can pit if they opt to, but the top three carry on.
To say JM Grill had 100% rear wing damage, Dan, he's only 38 seconds off the lead.
He is indeed. So I think, like I said, JM Grill's one of those drivers who just keep quiet, he minds his own business, and he will just slowly work his way back. But
how good a stop? How good a stop was that? How good a stop was that though? Because 100% damage is a big amount of damage, and he's going to overtake all three of these drivers here. Whereas Bryn pitted after him, 1 minute 14 behind. So how good a pit stop did JM Grill actually have there?
He might have just sustained rear wing damage, and with that rear wing damage, obviously it is undrivable. But like as Fury and myself proved at Long Beach, if you can get the car to the pit stop without actually damaging it, just have the rear wing on, it's actually relatively quick pit stop. So possibly JM Grill only sustained rear wing damage and has managed to get away with it. DJ Phil's still in the pits.
He is. As Smithy's caught Shane, so Shane must have had some damage to that car. So JM Grill as well there gains 3 places after his pit stop, and is only now some 15 seconds off the back of his teammate.
Man last lap was this man.
Was indeed, yes, rightly so. And had a wiggle last lap, if you remember, coming up Horsepower Hill on the back of Stelfsloff, ran a little wide. So Bozzy Boy got the pace tonight then. but needs to just cut out these little errors. He has lost time again. Needs to cut out these errors. And I thought someone was flashing there, but I don't know if that's like a light on the side of the track that keeps flashing on the side of the car. There's, Welshie big wiggle, well held though from Welshie. The front three matching each other. Dean's not far off their pace, only a second slower than Welshie last time around. Good enough at the minute to keep him P4. When Holty gets on the back of him, maybe keep him P5 because he's quicker than Stolstoff and far enough in front of that Bozzy boy that he's got the jump. Do any of these top three duck into the pit lane? No, they all keep going for the time being. And I tell you what, 2 seconds separating these top three. Fantastic to see, and just as we say, well avoided Holty, just as we say about Dean doing well top four pace. He's made a mistake, and if I was Dean, I'd possibly bring that car into the pit lane, get it out the way quickly, and Sloth now makes a mistake, Dan, into the same part of the track where Dean did. Dean hasn't pitted, he's carried on, but that gives Bozzy Boy the chance to get into the pits ahead of Sloth, get it slowed, and he has done indeed, and that Bozzy Boy in P5.
He is in.
But lap 5, sorry.
Little Leach is just fighting at Welshie right now. It's just right. At this stage of the race, it looks like Little Leach has the advantage of the top two in Sector 1. Sector 1 is Little Leach's. Sector 2 seems to go the way of Welshie. And in Sector 3, Lucas Roth just seems to pull away a little bit.
And I'm wondering if that's... I'm wondering if that's the horsepower hill, Dan, just giving, with that Mercedes having the more grunt over the Audi and the Lamborghini, just the Mercedes having that grunt up the hill, doing it some justice. 29 people watching the stream. Guys and girls, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you are new, and I'll be able to tell you the sets times. Little Leach actually slower than Lucas Roth this time around in Sector 1.
Yeah, Lucas Roth seems to be in a groove at the little things at the minute, but he can't stay complacent though. He will be under pressure from his father and Little Leach. If he makes one little mistake, they are there ready to pounce, and Keeg's doing everything right so far. Just needs to, like I said, speak to Carlin so we can afford to take some fuel away, possibly speak to Teletubby Motorsport to take some Mercedes fuel. Yeah,
can I just borrow some to put in the... Yeah,
take it to Spain. It's not too far a drive, so we'll just head down south
in the boot, cross Europe, bit of fuel, job done. Put it in your F2 car and away you go. Smithy then back into the pits. I was just about to say that he's dropped behind Phil and Bryn. He's back into the pit lane then at the end of lap 6 of the lead lap, and is currently struggling out there.
He is currently struggling, but Welshie doing a fantastic job of them, keeping his nose clean and staying consistent as well.
He was actually the quickest of the three, Dan, in that final sector, was Welshie there, by a tenth from Little Leach and 2/10 from Keeg. So Welshie's just got enough, it seems, in the odd sector here. Like you say, I think you're right though, Dan, that each sector is a different car is fastest, and at the minute Welshie doing enough in that final sector to just keep him in front by turn 1.
Yeah, I think Keeg though has the overall pace. He's able to just put it together a bit better. Welshie just not quite on the pace as the other two, as Dean and Sloth are both coming to the pits.
So that is at the end of lap 6 for Sloth and for Dean Wysocki then. As I know Dan's jotting it down and I'm jotting it down as well, and Dean then must be listening to the stream because he's pitted relatively early for Dean Wysocki. Middle of the race, good time to maybe get into the pits. And if you're that Bozzy Boy again, you're lapping down in the 228s this time around. So he's again had a few problems when he's caught onto the back of Sloth. Maybe just pushing too hard to do a little bit too quickly. Lucas Roth 204.1, Little Leach 204.4. Holty matching the pace of the leaders, but he's 10 seconds off the back. And this at the minute for Teletubby Motorsport, fantastic result so far for that Constructors' Championship, as well as the Drivers' Championship if you're Lucas Roth, because while Welshie's... Well, I was about to say that's where Audi and Lamborghini of Little Leach and Welshie, but it isn't. As long as Welshie's in between Little Leach and Lucas Roth, he's going to gain more points. It's Shane... Yeah, that's not too bad though, Danks. It gives you the inside for this part of the track.
Yeah, I think there's still a bit of damage on that car. He just goes a little bit deep, but he does clear Sloth, so he is on his way. He's a little bit further back from Dean, but I'm sure Shane will want to try and get onto the back of him as quickly as he can. And these guys just matching one another. I think Keeks had a moment up in the chicane there. He lost a lot of time there.
He did lose a lot of time. That might be why he's coming into the pit centre at the end of lap 7. Keegs is coming into the pits. There's no up so I can write a circle next to that one. As Keegs comes in then at the end of lap 7 for his pit stop, and Little Leach follows him in. One man who didn't follow him in there though, Dan, was Welshie, who takes the lead of this race.
He does not, and he stays out in front. Of maybe a little less pressure from him now. So Holty now moves up into P2, and like I said, Holty just now starting to get a little bit more consistency under his belt. He's now up into P2. He's there to support his teammate if need be. Still, Sloth is still on the back of Shane. I reckon Shane's still carrying a little bit of damage on him.
I reckon you're right, you know, Dan, but last lap he was nearly 7 seconds quicker. Lucas Roth out the pits.
A little time out
I was just about to say that. 2 seconds was the gap between the two. It's now 0.8 of a second. So Little Each then, a better pit stop than Lucas Roth, and job done for him so far. Now, does that mean he could get the jump over Welshie then?
Who knows? Or as well, she played a smart one here and gone for the overcut instead of the undercut. Get a nice clean lap, focus on his lap and try and go as quickly as he possibly can and get back in front of these two. But at this stage, looks like Little Leach might be able to jump Welshie in the pits, but it all depends on how well Welshie's in lap is.
I reckon Keegs' pit stop was 2 seconds longer than Little Leach's because his sector 1 time was 2 seconds slower than Little Leach's. So I reckon he's had a 2 second longer pit stop than Little Leach. And there's the 2 seconds that he was in front of Little Leach that has just gone out the window, Dan. Holty bringing that gap down to under 10 seconds to Welshie now. So Holty, you know, could maybe pull himself back something in this race. We'll have to wait to see what he can do. But at this moment in time, Bozzy Boy pumps in a 2:02.7. That is rapid pace. The problem is that consistency just hasn't been there. And he's still... Bozzy got to pit still? Because I know he's pitted. He's pitted. So it is just Holty, Welshie, and Bryn has to pit again or provide evidence of enough damage for the pit stop. Little Each, so Dan, right up that gearbox of Lucas Roth here.
Yeah, definitely so. He is right there. The question is, what is Welshie going to do as he comes into the final corner and he pits? So Welshie is in. How quick is this going to be? And make sure he doesn't get a penalty and he does get into the pits relatively easy. And it's now Holty. Will he take race lead or will he opt to pit? He's pitting. So Holty into the pits he comes. It's just Bryn left to pit, according to my thing.
Bryn left to pit, but he's got, unless he provides the footage, remember, he pitted at the end of lap 1. So unless he provides footage, there is a car off at the final corner.
It's Lucas
Roth, who looks like he's been in the wall. He's had a huge moment. Welshie's out in front of Little Each as well, Dan. Welshie's managed to keep the jump on Little Each, but they're side by side battling. Look at this for a battle. Welshie just hangs on to the lead. Lucas Ross back into the pit lane. J.M. Grill goes up into 4th. This will promote that Bozzy Boy who's got himself ahead of Dean Wasocki, and Dean as well will gain another place because of Lucas Ross' mistake. And that, Dan, has huge implications on this championship fight at the moment. Little Each to the outside of Welshie then. Can he get the job done? No, he can't. He's still very wide. Welshie giving him plenty of respect to these two. What a drive. And now Welshie tucks back behind Little Each. He has got the job done. But look at Lucas Roth tumble down the standings.
He is tumbling right down. Keys, one little mistake and it's put him back into the pits. Welshie now on an opportunity to win a race here as well. Little Leach is also going to be trying his very best, but if these two get too close together, this man is in the money seat. Holty, once again, like I said, keeping his nose clean and focusing on his car, he has brought himself onto the podium.
He has at the moment, Dan, as well as he brought the gap down from 10 seconds it was to Welshie before the round of pit stops. It's now down to 7.9 to Little Each. So at the minute, Holty doing everything he needs to do. Welshie has lost a lot of ground to Little Each at the minute. Maybe just needs to get him tyres back up to temperature and get going as Little Each is very wide there. This is a great opportunity for Welshie to take a race win in this one, and is a fantastic opportunity for points scored for Little Each. He's got to hope and pray that this man struggles to get past Bryn and the rest of the pack, because he's right on the back of Bryn, but he's some 20 odd seconds behind DJ Phil. So Lucas Ross, championship battle, 3 points. He got up to 4 as Bryn has had a huge slide into 3 and 4 all on his own. And I know he said off air that he's struggling with front left tyre overheating. As Welshie then, right on the back of Little Each here. And look, that Lamborghini right in the slipstream here. Come on, Welshie, says Emplava in the chat. Little Each, bit of weaving down the straight. I have to say, he's made his one move, comes back to the braking zone. And Welshie then tucks back and has to wait once again. As Little Each, like Dan said, 2 lines to this first corner. 2 different lines there from both these drivers. I think Welshie, though, looked like he got a decent line through. Slipstream towards 3 and 4, Dan. This is game on.
This is game on. Welshie looking fired up, and that Lamborghini, like I said, would be strong here, and it's looking very strong in Welshie's hands. Little Leach, I think he's just struggling with traction from corner to corner. Audi with probably not the best traction compared to Lambo, but look at that. Welshie is matching Little Leach lap for lap here, and I think this is probably Welshie's best performance this season so far.
Shane's got ahead of Dean in P6 and P7, and I have to agree with you. I think this is Welshie's best performance at the moment as well. So Dean down 7th place at the minute, but this battle at the front, we cannot take our eyes off at the moment. Liam once again lapping in the 202s, faster than anybody on the track so far, has made just a little mistake there coming through sector 1, 3 and 4. JM Grill 4th place, running at relatively good pace. Holty just done his out lap, so we'll start to see his pace again. But this man, Dan, every now and again just getting ever so closer to the back a little each, 0.6 of a second. Welshie only a tenth slower through sector 1, and it seems to be that final sector where Welshie gains a lot of time, I have to say.
I think it's sector 2 where he's struggling. Little Leach runs wide again through this corner, and this sector is where Little Leach is just losing time to Welshie. Welshie just seems to hook the car up better in this final sector.
I have to agree.
The advantage is the Lamborghini has more power than the Audi, so possibly up horsepower hill, this thing has probably got more grunt, more power, and is able to stick to Little Leach. But Little Leach here just seems to have a little bit more here. Yeah,
seemed to get the better run out of the chicane as well. She just clipping the grass a little bit, and that's going to compromise his run. As through set, Little Leach is gone! He's dropped in, and Welshie leads this race by a few seconds. A flash of the lights here. I know you've not won it. Wait, Welshie, keep going. Little Leach still can't get round. Here comes Holty, a gift of a podium, a gift of a P2. JM Grill will not be that far behind now. Neither will that Bozzy Boy, who's being caught rapidly by Shane at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like that Bozzy Boy's had a mistake, and now Shane is on the back of Liam. Can Shane put a little bit of pressure on that Bozzy Boy now? As it just seems to be that Liam seems to put one good lap in, and then has a horrendous lap, and has another good lap again. So Liam has the race pace, but he just can't keep it consistent towards the line, and it's a 2:17.
Yeah.
Well, Shane is still doing 2:04s consistently. He was 2,000s off his best. But look at this!
Look at this, what's happened to Welshie now, because Holty is going for the race lead here, as Welshie will have the inside line into the bottom part of the circuit down the hill, the double right-hander. Welshie manages to keep hold of that lead at the minute. Holty's just got to be patient and patient and patient, and Little Leach is coming once again. Shane was matching the pace of Welshie and Holty up front. He was splitting their pace last time around, and here comes Holty. Does he have a look at the left-hander? No, Welshie makes his move and covers him off. And Little Leach getting closer, a wiggle for Holty now, and Little Leach is having a look up the inside, thinks better of it, Dan. What a race we're having here at Brno.
We get rid of one Telethummy Motorsport and we get another back to the front. Holty doing it for his team, managing to get back into this fight. But a massive shout out to JM Grill to drag himself back into this race from having a massive moment at the start of the race with no rear wing. He's back up to P4, and if these guys, I said 7 seconds back, Holty could have an opportunity to get into this race. Now JM Grill was only 9 seconds behind. He could have an opportunity to win this race if these guys all tangle with one another. Welshie has just got to focus on himself.
He has at the moment. Welshie's got to hope that Little Leach puts the pressure on Holty as he is doing now. This is allowing Welshie to stretch his leg. Little Leach then going to look for a little move up the inside into turn 12. Can't get it done. Set him up for turn 13. This is where Little Leach lost the race lead and the second place last time around. This time keeps it on the track, right up the gearbox of that Mercedes-Benz. But you'd imagine the Mercedes will pull away a little bit in this straight line, and you can just see Little Leach struggling to keep with him. Don't pull out the slipstream, that's not going to do you any favours as he breaks into one. Holty breaks a lot deeper and actually seemed to work for Holty.
Holty's very good on the brakes of that Mercedes, and whatever he's doing to that Mercedes, it seems to work. And he's got a great run on Welshie here.
Might need to give him a message after last week.
Definitely so, but the Mercedes seems to be his weakness is the brakes, and it's going really well here for Holty. He's right on the gearbox of that Lamborghini.
And you can tell Welshie had a problem last lap. Look at 2:14, so really struggling on the pace as everybody's coming to the line. What's happened to Bozzy Boy? He's dropped down to P8, so that's where he's made another mistake, and Holty up the inside. He's not taken the lead. He's gone way too deep on the brakes. Invites Welshie through, but not Little Leach. Bozzy Boy, we said he's made another mistake. He's in the pit lane.
He is in the pit lane. Dean is also not had the best of laps. Self-Stoffers on the back of it, but we go back to the race lead.
Back to the race lead then. Welshie from Holty from Little Each. Holty just deep a little more. Is he pushing too hard for this race lead? They're all within a second of each other. The problem is these are fighting and JM Grill is not getting any closer. There is 3 and a bit laps to go in this race. If you don't hit the thumbs up button for this, I don't know what you'll hit it for. What drama here. Little Each, P3 leading the championship. Holty and Welshie, don't forget, are tied on points in the championship in 6th and 7th, but first and second. Once again, 3 races in a row. Holty and Welshie are side by side, forwards and backwards. It is ebbing and flowing for these for 3 races in a row. And look at them chopping across each other there. They mean business, and Little Each has got the popcorn in that Audi.
Oh, we've lost the driver. I think we've lost Liam.
Posy, yep.
We've lost 2.
No, because we lost Ugbar. We lost Ugbar, as well as Holty's tapped the back of Welshie, and round they both go. We lost Ugbar at the start, didn't we? That's the 13th driver.
As we just see their contact with Holty and Welshie. Holty waits for Welshie and lets him go, but that's just allowed JM Grill to come back onto these guys. That's pretty much Little Each's race to lose now. So Little Each now just has to keep it on the track, but Welshie, what an opportunity he had, and he's just got caught out by Holty, just missing his brakes ever so slightly and then just tapping the rear of him. So Holty, mistake from him. He's obviously waited and allowed Welshie to carry on.
What a dramatic race though, Dan, and look who's in the background now to maybe have a look at a podium. It's that man JM Grill once again, who is sat in the background of this, there he is, look, right there for another podium. Welshie maybe could have had a race win. The tap from Holty did the right thing by letting him go, and now then it's about who can get this to the end. Little Each, like you say, it's his to lose.
It is his to lose, as you see here. Welshie squeezing Holty, and Holty going around the outside there of the Double Kings, but he's not got it stopped. He's really struggling there at turn 4. And yeah, so Holty's just going to have to think of a different way to try and get past that Lamborghini, because right now Welshie's got it covered, but there's Holty down the inside. Is Welshie going to get the better drive? It looks like he does, so they're going to stay side by side. Let's go through this sector, and JM Grill is right there. Oh, it's how Welshie goes across the grass there. Welshie fighting for his stay on the podium now.
He is fighting to stay on his podium. Does he have a bit of damage to the back of that car?
Who knows, possibly so. Maybe a little bit of damage. Holty probably carrying a little bit of damage to the front end of his car. And this man, again, just staying consistent in the 206s now. And he's on the back of the leaders.
He is indeed. And JM Grill doing exactly what he needs to in this race. After that poor start to it, he's really come back into this one, and Welshie just looks like he's really struggling, Dan, in this phase of the race. Dean's lost out to DJ Phil. We are down to 11 runners. Ugbar didn't ready up. We've lost Bozzy Boy due to retirement in this race. That'll be no points for him, and it'll be a quali ban next week at Daytona, a track which you know, You'd have put a Mercedes on pole. You'd have put all the Mercedes in the top 5. As Holty then to the line, 2:04.8 back on the pace. A Little Each out front. Welshie just starting to lose pace. Now then, I wonder if Welshie's got damage. I wonder if that spin. I wonder what tyre Welshie's on, because I wonder if that moment, Dan, that he's had where he spun the car back round has just overheated maybe a soft tyre that the Lamborghini might be able to run.
Possibly so, but either way, he seems a little bit better through sector 1 here, so it looks like he's managed to get the car back underneath him. But right now, JM Grill is going to be pressurising. The eldest man here at Simplay Motorsport of 71 years of age. The Frenchman is putting pressure on the Scotsman of Welshie right now. Can he find a way past? And like I said, JM Grill's season has literally been about consistency, and he's back up there again. Lucas Roth destroying it out at Silverstone Classic and Hockenheim, but look at here now, JM Grill is still scoring those points when he needs to.
Yeah, he is still scoring them points when he needs to, and when Keegs is having a bad round, this puts JM Grill right up there for that P2 spot in the championship at the moment. Holty and Welshie as well gaining good points, with Lucas with that Bozzy Boy retiring. That gives Keegs another place, so he doesn't lose as many points. DJ Phil's got past Dean, so the next car for Lucas Roth is Dean, but Lucas Roth isn't close enough to Dean at the minute. He's some way behind, so I think he's lost a bit of time somewhere as Lucas Roth. Must have had another moment. Stelsloff in 6th place. Good running for Stelsloff, P6.
Yeah, very good running here as his teammate up at the front. Like I said, the Lamborghini looked very good here, and once again it's just proven it with both Stelsloff and Welshie looking very good here. And,
read a message. Just read a message from Liam. It wouldn't fix his headlights in the pit stop. Toto has retired the car before he receives a penalty. Because he didn't repair his headlights in the pit stop, apparently. So that's what he said. So that's why he's retired from the race.
I think on our screen the headlights were on. So.
Oh, on my screen they wasn't. Before he pitted.
They weren't when he pitted, but I think when he came in, they changed and switched on.
Right,
so.
okay, fair enough. Must have missed that one then. JM Grill's got past Welshie this lap. He's struggling, Dan, as we enter the last lap of this race. I think Welshie's tyres may have just died.
Possibly so. He's just overheated and pushed him too hard, or damage to that car has really affected him now, and he's not able to attack the top guys now. But nonetheless, what a drive from Welshie this race has been. Really looked good, and possibly a race win on the tables here, but we can't count out yet. Little Leach has still got to try and survive this lap.
He has still got to try and survive this lap. Brindine 11th, not the first race he'd have wanted. 12 drivers started this race, which means the top 6 cannot qualify. So Stolsloff, Shane, Welshie, JM Grill, Holty and Little Leach cannot qualify yet. Welshie still hunting down, though, that third place to come back onto the podium from JM Grill, as we're not even at Sector 2 yet. And what a fascinating race this has been. What an opener to the night. What an opener to Brno for the next two nights, Dan. It's been, what a race. Just absolutely epic. As JM Grill, a bit twitchy through that section, and Welshie's just gained a bit of time there.
Yeah, you can see as JM Grill does go
deep. I think Welshie's hit the tyres.
Possibly hit the tyres, but he's just losing time because he's just understeering here. But we'll go back to Little Leach, who's on his way for another race win, and I'm pretty sure Smithy will definitely be a bit happier about that one.
Yeah, I'm sure Smithy will be happier with that one. Obviously, the driver coach at Pick and Mix, it's what took me to my Acora title last year, Smithy, and it's what he's going to try and do for Little Leach, is take him to the title this year. As JM Grill, Emplava, JMG, not bad for an old man, he says in the chat, our oldest driver here at Simplay Motorsport. But what an emotional roller coaster this man's had. Pole position, third place, race lead. He's done it all, and he's going to lap Lucas Roth, who's going to let him unlap himself. Keegs has had another moment and has lost out to Smithy then. Holty going to cross the line for a P2. Great stuff for him in this one. And the final lap, the last corner, has it gone the way of JM Grill? It has indeed, but take your hats off to Welshie. What a scrap he's put on for us tonight. Shane, yet again, another solid result. His lowest finish is P11. He's then been 7th, 8th, 6th, 6th, 2nd, 8th, and now P5. That is, although it's not championship winning consistency, it's good consistency nonetheless. A good P5 for this man out there tonight.
Yeah, good recovery after a poor start to the lap. But this man, for me, what a good drive for himself, Slough. He has put himself back up the top 6, and he's going to be a bit shocked because he's not going to be able to qualify for the next race. So Slough will come home, and he looks very happy with that one with a P6. He crosses like good points for MC Motorsport. Yeah, good points for MC Motorsport. DJ Phil, all that promise in practice and only a P7. This man from the back of the grid was at P4 and on the podium early stages of this race. Will come home for a P7. He's well ahead of Smithy at the minute. Not bad points for Dean Wysocki today. He struggled with this track this week in testing, and he said to Liam on off air tonight that he's not feeling the most confident around here before tonight. So, and I think that shows with Dean. When you speak with Dean off air, you know the tracks Dean feels really comfortable at. This isn't one of them tonight in this Mercedes-Benz, but P8 nonetheless. Still some good points, a flash of the lights for Dean as he crosses the line. Smithy is going to come home in 9th. Lucas Roth, though, Dan, a lap down in 10th, only scoring himself 6 points, losing a lot of points to his championship rival Little Leach. And if you're Bryn, that's one to forget down in P11. Yeah, definitely so. Bryn had a great start to the season, and now this back end of the season just not working out for him whatsoever. Lucas Roth, not the start to his night either. He'll have to come back for race 2. Smithy might want to switch his lights back on, but he crosses the line and finishes in 9th place position. And yeah, what a start to the race. What's night already?
Yeah, what a start to the night. Fastest lap of the race, a 2:02.8 for Lucas Roth. Bozzy Boy, a 2:02.5. Not sure on the ruling of getting to the end of the race for fastest lap.
I don't think he gets fastest lap if he doesn't make it to the end.
Right, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down for Lucas Roth. I'm also going to just put it down for Bozzy Boy, and I will double check the rules and amend that if that is wrong. So Lucas Roth will take the fastest lap if the rules state that Bozzy Boy had to finish the race, if he doesn't have to finish the race, he will take the fastest lap. But I'll amend that. I'll check them rules and amend that one. We are going to be 5 minutes. Grab yourself a drink, get yourself something to eat, because we're going to be right back with some more fascinating action. Don't go anywhere. Oh, what a race.
That was a good one. Well, she must be pissed.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I feel like that one's going to be put in.
It looked a little naughty.
Yeah,
Right.
but he waited by the looks of things.
He did wait. I suppose we'll see what happens. Right, I'm just going to pop to the toilet.
Yeah, I'll get them in. Boy, you had your fucking race cut out for you, didn't you?
Yes, I did. That's got good fun, actually.
Yeah, it was brilliant from our view, for sure. We were enjoying it. And you had literally every driver to race. You had Giggs, Welshie, Holty, and then nearly JM Grill caught onto the back of you lot.
Yeah, it was a good race, mate.
Yeah. Did you drop it all on your own in the final corner?
Yep.
Classic.
Yes,
My
I
McLaren
did.
did that last season.
Well, I decided to go around it in second and not third, and I put the foot down a bit too early, and that was it, gone.
Just caught you out ever so slightly. Well done, Holty. Good recovery. Either way, you managed to drag it back to second.
Cheers for that, mate.
That was great for us to watch. Yeah, I like this track. Alright, I'm gonna go for a quick wee a minute. Matt should be back in a sec. I'm back.
What the hell happened to Keegs, by the way?
I don't know. He dropped it on.
I was behind him and his lights went off and he just carried on going straight at a corner.
Wait, what?
His lights went off and he literally just went straight. I thought, what is he doing?
Fucking hell. Did he do it all on his own then? He just went straight. That was it, gone.
He turned his lights off and that was it. I didn't see him again.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. DJ Phil's sending me loads of voice notes now. Oh, mate. It's literally weekly. Did I tell you the time he tried putting an inquiry on himself?
Yeah, he did, yeah. Trying to protect it, yeah.
Phil. DJ Phil, it was like, you know when Silverstone Classic, he dropped it at the far end of the circuit and Holty, you brushed past him as he was like spinning around. He was like, you go, oh, I dangerously came back on track, I should get a penalty for that. I was like, Holty hasn't put nothing in, so I'm not going to worry about it. He goes, yeah, but it's dangerous, I could have done more damage, I could have hurt someone. I was like, It's a game, mate. Like, don't stress about it. It's only a bit of fun. We're not anything serious. He does it weekly. It's just like, right, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see.
Even Matt got a fancy text from him as well.
Who?
Our mate Phil.
Oh, fucking hell.
Saying he had a secret setup. But it was only good for practice.
Is the boss happy?
Yeah.
Good.
After all the stick he gave me this week, Jesus, I needed that.
Let's hear what he's got to say.
Clive Smith, you 9th, and you say I'm shit. Fucking car wouldn't stay on track, was fine in quali, but race completely different. Yeah, you can't say shit about me now. Me, fuck me right over. I would have had 5th otherwise. You'll see. Unless Matt fucks about with track.
Nah, he done fucking qualifying on softs and then went in the race on hards. What a fool.
You softs then?
Yeah, I was on softs, yeah.
I thought so in that Audi. Definitely not in the Merc.
He went, I went hard. So I mean, no wonder he kept spinning, you twat.
Yeah, the Merc's aggressive enough that it gets away with it, but...
Oh my god, there's fucking chaos into that corner. What the fuck?
We got Holty in here as well. Sweet. No JM Grill, I take it.
What was that? No.
No. Why is this race only 14 laps?
You're right, this race is only 14 laps.
Love that.
Matt's made an error. Leave the lobby, lads.
Oh, really? We might as well just run with 14
fuck
laps.
it, yeah, we'll just run with 14, fuck it.
Yeah, mate.
It's just more hassle than what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, fuck it. Right, everybody in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cars, yeah? Ugbar, filter, ready up.
Man, my ankle is really starting to throb now.
22 points now, Craig. Not 27 or 28, 22. Yeah?
Oh, I love 22-point gap.
We all right with the maths on that one?
Yeah, mate. I quickly glanced at it. I saw an 8 and a 1. I was like, what's he talking about?
You fucking idiot. Smithy group chat and he's like, I've just asked my 4-year-old. Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to Simplay Motorsport here for the start of the second Pro-Am race. And I don't know why the stream has gone all the way back there. We are still streaming, aren't we? Yes, we are. So I don't know what's happened there, but good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to tonight's race. Dean's disconnected. Hopefully he can get back in because he can qualify. We've got two of the top three in for an interview, but first of all, the championship standings. Little Each now leads by 22 points from Lucas Roth. 39 ahead of JM Grill. Ukbar is 62 behind. Bryn still stays in 5th place, but has Holty right on the back of him. Only 5 points behind him. Welshie on 165. He lost out a bit towards the end of that. Dean stays in 8th place. Loses a bit of ground to Welchie and those above him. He's still pulled a bit of a gap over Smithy in 9th. Stealth Sloth 10th. DJ Phil down in 11th makes 100 points. And Shane and that Bozzy Boy can now not win the championship. 90 points and 56 points between them. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, Teletubby Motorsport still lead the way by 17 points. Their gap gets cut short a little bit. Terminal Velocity Racing have a 104 point gap now to the two leaders. MC Motorsport go ahead of My Mate Racing by 3 points, and the Super Crash Bros losing out there, getting quicker. My Mate will not be able to win the championship in this one if it stays as it is. But we've got Holty in, and no James Grill, as always, obviously not very strong on his English. But Holty, a good P2 for yourself there. Obviously struggled seemed to be in that first part of the race, but you had an incident, I think turn 1, you was off at turn 1, sorry, not turn 1, lap 1, and just seemed to slowly recover throughout.
Yeah, there was cars going off everywhere, just trying to avoid it, quite those both went off, and then it was just scratching as much as possible to take the time down the track.
As Dean Wisocki gets back in, that's great to see. Like you say, take your time around this track. You're in the Mercedes. I presume you ran the hard tyre.
Yeah, I ran the hard tyre to try to soft in practice.
Yeah. Not a track for the grunt of the Mercedes, though, is it? It's kind of like you say, a hurry up and wait kind of track. Does that seem to be where the Mercedes is struggling? What can you do race 2, buddy? Well, we wish you the best luck, mate. Go and get him. As Dean Wisocki gets back into the race, and we've got Little Each, and when he's not watching Love Island, or when he's not working, when he's not looking after the little one, he's here winning races, and that was a pretty good race win.
Yeah, it feels good to be back on top spot. Cracking race, to be fair.
It had a lot of dramas, though, didn't it? You led, you was down the pack, you was behind Keegs for a long time, behind Welshie for a long time, then you got back in front of them, and then you had a spin and fell back behind Welshie. It kind of had a bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of entertainment don't hurt anyone, does it?
Soft or hard tyre in that one?
Soft.
How was the soft then, first of all?
To be fair, held up pretty well. Maybe the last couple of laps I was slowing a bit, but apart from that, they held up well on the Audi. Held up well on the Audi. Dan, Lucas Roth there looks like he's had a big off.
Yeah, but lots of things, and well, also Little Leach told me in the break as well that he suddenly lost his lights and just drove straight in the race before. So I don't know if Keeks is having steering wheel issues.
Ah, right then. Okay, so is Keeks having steering wheel problems? And I wonder if that's the case as Bozzy Boy comes back out. Race 2 then, Craig. Obviously, you've extended your championship lead now, but at the back of the grid here, you look like you've got a pretty good car underneath you. What can you do?
Yeah, hopefully pick them off one by one. Hopefully the Mercs and that will spin. And the Audi's pretty consistent, so just try and keep steady and see where we end up.
Well, wish you the best of luck, buddy. Go and get him.
Cheers, thank you.
So Little Each then extending his championship lead, and Dan, all the drivers there both drivers there seem pretty ecstatic with their with their positions and what they did. We couldn't hear Holty while she's saying, so we'll have to get that one sorted for next time. Good evening to Nikki in the chat. And steering wheel issues for Keegs, well, she said in the chat. That's not good when you're trying to win a Yeah, that's not good when you're trying to win a championship.
Yeah, as I expected, it's not looking good, and another man probably struggling with steering wheel issues is this man who's still stuck on the grass. But as we said, Matt, this championship is going to really swing either way, especially like a kind of like a seesaw effect. We're going to go to circuits that suit the Audi. We're going to go to circuits that's going to suit the Mercedes. So, and this is a strike for the Audi. We'll then head to Daytona as tyres go flying thanks to Bryn, where the Mercedes will have the benefit. Then we'll head back to Oschersleben in Germany, another trip to Germany, and again, the Audi should be the dominant one. And then we'll finish the season off at the home of speed as we head to Monza for the final round of the season. But technically, in previous seasons, the Mercedes actually hasn't gone that well round Monza.
It hasn't gone that great round Monza.
In fact, I think season 3, I think, was the last time we ran it. And
yes.
I don't think it won a race there. I think I've won both races in the Porsche.
The Porsche,
if I remember rightly.
Yeah, the Porsche has been won by Gary and yourself at Monza before, but there's no Porsche. So you kind of have to assume that the Mercedes is going to be the dominant car in the Pro-Am, that is.
But surely the Audi then should be the one then to look at, because similar characteristics to the Porsche, engine in the rear.
Potentially so, yeah.
Oh, mid-engine car. You know, Mercedes probably struggles with the chicanes or even parabolica. Maybe Ascari is where it struggles, where that downforce is needed ever so slightly. But other than the main straight, the Mercedes won't have that big advantage in a straight line.
Well, potentially so. It's something we're going to have to keep our eyes out for in 7 races' time for the Pro-Am boys. The Audi's just taken its 27th race win here at Simpler Motorsport, meaning that it has gone above the McLaren to be the 4th most dominant car in terms of race wins here at Simpler Motorsport, with 27 race wins to its name. And if you're Little Each, you're sitting very pretty now, moving up the standings with a few more race wins to your name. Struggling to find where he is on the list. He's there. He's now on to 7 race wins, putting himself with Monkey Boy and Ben Parkey in that 11th and 12th spot on race wins. And Little Each will be making his 150th at the last race of Monza as well this season. So that'll be great to see him do that one there. Dan, your tip for pole in Q2 with only 2.5 minutes left?
Well, at the minute, it's fighting between the Ginettas. They're the only ones putting a decent lap time in, and it's DJ Phil who's fastest of them all. I reckon Ukbar's still got a lap time underneath him. I reckon he's just trying to just get the best out of the car. He's on pretty low fuel at the minute. He's got a little bit of traffic of that Bozzy boy, so maybe he'll be able to use the advantage of the tow. But I'm going with Ukbar for pole. What about yourself, Matthew?
Yeah, I'm going to go Ukbar for pole as well, unless Lucas Roth can sort of steering wheel issues out. Although, Bozzy boy, maybe he was quick in the race, wasn't he? He had the fastest lap in the race. Obviously, Ukbar didn't race. He's not going to do the fastest time like that one, though. Sliding all over the place. Ukbar in the background, a bit of a tow he'll be receiving from that Bozzy boy. So I'm going to go Ukbar, but keep your eyes out on Bozzy and Lucas Roth. Don't keep your eyes out on Lucas Roth, because you ain't going to get a lap in.
No, he's not, and I think the steering wheel is playing up massively here. And looks like Keys is not going to be able to qualify for this one. And if his wheel's playing up that bad, is he going to be able to finish the race?
That's the biggest question. If he DNFs from the race and scores no points, that'll be catastrophic in terms of his championship. Now then, to put the cat amongst the pigeons, Ukbar quickest sector 1, Dean purple sector 2. So Dean Wasocki on a bit of a good lap himself here. Could he put himself amongst Ukbar? We'll have to keep our eyes out and see. Yeah, Phil will. These two will as well. I think that's Dean coming into the final chicane, so he will. As Ukbar goes pole by a whole second. Now keep your eyes on this man. Purple middle sector. I can't see his first sector in terms of Ukbar's. I can't see his second sector, and goes 8/10 off the back. So his final and first sector must have been the two that let him down. Bryn down in 10th, not yet set a lap time, and he's only going to get to set this 1 lap time.
He is indeed. So this is Bryn's only chance here. Can he get himself amongst the front guys? And this Audi really showing the potential here. And can Bryn find that potential?
Bryn's just had a bit of a mid-season slump, hasn't he? As we have reached the 300 subscriber mark. So thank you, guys and girls, so very much. 300 subscribers. Thank you all so much. Let's now push on to the next milestone of 400. That's an absolutely massive achievement, Dan, as this man's having a bit of a mid-season slump at the moment.
Yeah, a massive thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the channel, and we really do hope that you enjoy all the views that you do. We do try and put on the best show for you, and so does the drivers themselves, as Brent comes across the lines to do a P5 position, best that he could do. DJ Phil, and well, Ukbar's done for the session, so it's DJ Phil, that Bozzy boy, and Dean all battling it out for the season. For the final chance to be on pole. And like you said, yeah, Britain's not had the mid-season, but I think that once you get into that slump, it's very, very difficult to get out of it until you have a very good result, at least a win, as Dean's done for his session as well. So it's just down to Phil and that Bozzy boy.
And that Bozzy boy has just gone purple middle sector, Dan, and was some 0.3 quicker than Dean's middle sector on the last lap. So it's a fight between these two. Dean currently on the front row of the grid, but Bozzy boy needs 0.8 of a second to get in front of Dean. DJ Phil only needs 0.2 of a second to get in front of Dean. If you're Lucas Roth, you only start in the mid-pack. Can DJ Phil knock his teammate off the top step? Can it be a Ginetta front row? No improvement. That Bozzy boy, he'll be the next man to upset the apple cart, and does, but only goes P2. So Akbar will take that extra pole, which means the Audi, the McLaren and the Ginetta are all going to be on 20 pole positions each. Dean and DJ Phil drop to 3rd and 4th as Bozzy boy manages to get himself a 2nd place. Ahead of Brian Smithy, Lucas Roth, then the non-qualifiers, Stovstoff, JM Grill, Holty, Welchie, Shane and Littleach. Now, because of the bad judgment from myself setting up this lobby, it is a 14-lap race, not a 15-lap race. The pit window will stay as lap 4, but they'll do a lap less. And I'm sure the drivers will thank me for that, especially those who want to get out of here another 2 minutes earlier.
Definitely so. I think Little Leach looking at that one. He can't miss his Love Island, can he? Let's be honest.
He's got to be on for Love Island. That's why he's happy that it's only 14 laps. Do you watch Love Island, Dan?
So. I used to. I'm not really. I watched it for one season with Mum and not really watched it.
You look between your legs, realised you had a pair and decided, nah, I'm too manly for this.
No, I actually tried to apply and they rejected me. So,
they
said I didn't have enough following. That's why I started streaming.
Well, to be fair, mate, I've seen the people on Love Island, and I don't think I've got the physique for
I'm too hairy.
I'm too hairy, too fat. I've got a limp.
No. I'll take it back. I'm too beautiful for Love Island. And that's not because of my looks, that's because of my personality.
Oh, dear me. Back to the racing. Drivers getting ready here. One driver in particular has to make sure he presses his ready up button.
Welshie.
Akbar.
Oh, no, that's dropping the pad, sorry.
Akbar, after race 1, as Little Each telling us to shush in the chat, he loves it. He absolutely loves it. 20 pole positions then. Go on.
I think it was just going downstairs a second ago. Mum was telling me that so-and-so was talking to so-and-so, and it's really causing an upset. I don't know if that helps at all, Little Each. You know, I can't remember her name. Luca, is it in something or other? And I'm really ruining this for people now. Okay,
just gone over the rules and regulations. Liam will not get fastest lap, so Keegs will. As we get ready to go, Dan, more importantly, Akbar has readied up. It's green and go. That looked like a bit of a jump from Bryn. Down in 5th place. Was it, though, as he goes side by side with Dean Wisocki? We'll have to keep our eyes on that. JM Grill is round. And there's a car just teleported to the pit wall.
Keegs hasn't moved. He hasn't gone. His wheel and pedals
Is disconnected? I think, maybe not working, but also a bit of lag. Look at this midfield pack congestion. I think Bryn's jumped the start. Akbar's lost out to Bozzy Boy. It's a great start for Bozzy Boy up into lead in this race from Akbar. Bryn's going to try around the outside and chops the nose off. A bit of a... Well, his surname is Court, so he's absolutely cut the front. Oh, he's pulled in front of his teammate.
Dean's gone round as well.
So Bozzy, Akbar, Phil, Holty, Stealth Sloth, Lucas Roth out of this race. And is that Lucas Roth out of this championship?
Who knows? But Lucas Roth will have to try and get his steering wheel and pedal sorted ASAP. But Bryn there, just letting the car roll round and then getting hit by his teammate there. Not a good way to get back on track.
Now, I don't know if it was a spin that he was catching the slide of that's caused him to get in front of his teammate or what, but either way, it's his teammate that's caught him. And damage early on. JM Grill, by the way, for the second race running on the opening lap, has no rear wing. I saw at the start of that as Bryn goes round yet again, and this time manages to keep out of harm's way, and Dean gets through. JM Grill has no rear wing again. Welshie, and Stealth Sloth is up to P5. Great start for him. Little Each is up to 4th, so a good start for him as well. And Akbar, Dan, didn't get the start he needed because that Bozzy boy get an absolute flyer.
He did indeed. Ken Akbar dragged that back, but we know that Liam had fantastic pace earlier on. but he kept dropping it every lap, so we'll see if he's able to. Stealth Sloth is having a great run here at Brno. A brilliant run so far.
It's been a while since we've seen Stealth Sloth up this high, and he is having a cracking run. And talk about the slump continuing. Bryn needs to get out of this slump. Shane, bit of damage to his car on the back of DJ Phil. Shane's really started to come into this as Bryn gets past James Grill once again with that damaged front wing. These two pitted at the end of the lap one last time. I don't think Bryn's got both his headlights this time, so I don't know if he's got as much damage this time around. May have to wait till lap 4. Dean then in the background, P10, 3 seconds off the back of Welshie at the moment. As this, the battle for the lead with Holty P3, Little Each P4. Buzzy Boy at the minute doing a cracking job staying out front. But like you said, Dan, made a mistake every other lap.
We haven't made a prediction for a race winner on this one, so at the stage, it looks like that Buzzy Boy and Ugbar looking very good for the possible race win here. As back to because the keys leaving the session there or glitching out, we're gonna have some weird camera angles, guys. So I apologise for that.
As Bryn in and out the pits, that was a relatively quick stop, so he's probably got to pit again there. Otherwise, we'll face. I think it's a drive-through penalty, isn't it? The penalty for pitting before the pit window. James Grill again, another quick stop. So he had no rear wing on that car, so another good stop. He's not too far off the pack and could be in for a good result in this race. Bryn, a good stop as well. So he had damage. So the rest of the pack continue on their way here then, and it's that Buzzy Boy from Uckbar, from Holty, Little Each, Stealth Sloth, Smithy, DJ Phil, Shane. Well, she not made the progress through the pack like the others have.
No, and I think he's been caught up with all the incidents that's going on earlier on at the start of the race. So he's just been trying to avoid cars left, right and centre. But he is going to be slowly making his way up now.
He's got Dean gaining on the back of him actually here, and I'm just looking at the sector times through Sector 1, and for some reason it's not giving me Dean's name. It's saying Dean's P4 and not gone through Sector 1. So I think he's glitching the lobby out, has maybe glitched the timing screen out on my phone, because Dean is definitely on the second lap and is definitely P10, not P4, and is running in this race. As look at this then, Smithy side by side with DJ Phil. This for Peter Fan. No, he's not. He's well ahead of DJ Phil. Well, I would say side by side there. Shane's gaining on Phil in the background, gaining on these two as well. And Uckbar just chipping away at that Buzzy Boy's times at the moment.
Yeah, he's just slowly working at him as Uckbar does the fastest lap of the race there. Stealth Sloth still trying to defend with Smithy. DJ Phil right on the back with Shane, not too far behind either. Welshie just trying to get into a groove here with Dean right behind him as well. Bryn bringing up rear with JM Grill also. But I think now Buzzy Boy's made a mistake, because here comes Uckbar.
Yes, he had a little wiggle through turns 1 and 2 then, because Uckbar's coming at him and down in towards turn 3. Uckbar cannot get the job done. Did he just run wide a little bit, or did have a wiggle? So he's definitely had something though, because Uckbar right on the back of him. And that Buzzy Boy just needs to keep his head here at the moment. He lapped quick in race 1, but like Dan said earlier, was a bit too inconsistent. Now he needs to be consistent. Dean still hunting the back of Welshie. Shane hunting the back of Phil. Phil hunting the back of Smithy. Here we go then, down the hill. Stealth Sloth in the background. You see Smithy and DJ Phil. DJ Phil pulls out now to have a look up the inside of Smithy, who tries to keep it on the outside. Gives a wide berth. Has Smithy just lost the car? I think he was losing it, because then sort of bounced off of DJ Phil there.
Yeah, it looks like he did ever so slightly there, and now Smithy's still struggling to find a way past DJ Phil, but they've also got Shane just dropped the rear.
Yeah. Holty has as well, so that promotes Little Each to P3. Stealth Sloth can't get through, he's not close enough, but then Shane's lost out to Welshie and Dean as well after all of that. Holty then dropping down behind Little Each once again, and this promoting Uckbar. What's happened to Uckbar as well actually, because he's now some 2 seconds off the back of Liam.
Yeah, he's not had a great sector here. Liam just seems to put a lap together here.
He does, doesn't he? Uckbar coming through. We'll see the timing screens. Obviously, the times on the left-hand side of the screen will obviously show us if they've made a mistake or not on the last lap. And we know Shane did, and we know Smithy had a bit of a wobble and tapped off the side of Phil. But Phil here, not getting the run. Oh, and Smithy just goes into the gravel, runs it too wide. And a flash of the lights there from Smithy, not quite sure what for.
I don't think he's too happy with Phil. He thinks Phil probably ran him out of road there. But Smithy wasn't quite far enough alongside really for that opportunity to work. So maybe let's rethink about that one a little bit.
Maybe he will as well. She's another one who's running out of room. He's gone a little bit wide, and that's allowed Dean and Shane just to get back onto the rear of them here as they come down the start-finish straight now then. Stelfsloff, DJ Phil, Smithy's lost a bit of time. Was that Dean pulling out side by side with Welshie in the background? He's having a look, into turn one. Doesn't get it done. And I tell you what, I take my hat off to Dean a bit tonight. He's not seemed to have made as many mistakes. He's just not had the quick pace that he normally has.
Not indeed, as we see here, that Buzzy Boy has lost time here to Ugbar once again, and it seems to be ebb and flow between these two. 1 minute it's Ugbar who's fastest, next minute it's that Buzzy Boy, and he's losing the rear a little bit there. He just had to get off the power so slightly then.
I think this is the problem with the Mercedes. It just doesn't have that patience through the corners. Much prefers the slower corners, the sharper corners it can stop and then go from. Through these fast swooping corners, these slower swooping corners, should I say, it doesn't seem to have that patience. As Dean has got past Welshie now, and Shane's on the back of him. So Dean makes another place, and Shane now attacking the back of the Lamborghini of Welshie then, who's the Lamborghini just in front of him.
Just a reminder again to the man who's in last place position, who is near enough fastest man on track other than that Buzzy Boy.
Yeah, he is, yes, you're right. And that JM Grill, the teammate to that Buzzy Boy, so them Mercedes boys must have their car hooked up, because good pace from them so far. As I think Shane, was he just ducking under the inside of Welshie there? He's having a look, but can't get the job done, as that's DJ Phil getting close to Stelfsloff. A bit too close as they tap there, as DJ Phil slides up the inside. Stelfsloff's now going to come back at him. Did DJ Phil try and close the door then when Stelfsloff was coming up the inside? Either way, Stelfsloff's back through. Smithy's now having a look, and this time gets it round the corner. Has he got the momentum up the straight? No, because Phil's coming across and then weaves back. There's a bit of movement going on from these, but Phil and Smithy, pad users as we know. I do believe Phil's on the wheel nowadays.
I believe he is, yes, but the thing is, Smithy will just have to be a bit cautious on the back of these two. As Smithy's actually opted to pit. I think that's a smart decision, as DJ Phil's looking to make a run now.
Yep, Smithy, good decision. DJ Phil looks to make a run down the start straight. That is also Welshie and Shane, I think I saw diving into the pits in the background. DJ Phil, though, up the inside, and it was Welshie and Shane that have decided to come into the pits at the end of lap 4. So smart decision from them two. And DJ Phil up the inside of Stelfsloff. He can now hunt after Holty. As again, Dan, look at the leaders. Ebbing and flowing, like you said a moment ago. Ugbar this time 3 tenths quicker, but the man behind some 6 and 9 tenths quicker than the pair of them. As Mother Davis in the chat, what have I missed? You've missed a heck of a lot.
I don't know why she's saying that, because she has got it on her phone downstairs on at the same time while watching Love Island. I'm sorry, little H, but she is watching Love Island while she's watching the racing as well. But what's more important, Love Island or the Simplay Motorsport racing? Well, now with 300 subscribers, definitely Simplay Motorsport.
Definitely Simplay Motorsport, as that Buzzy Boy has gapped Ugbar a little bit then in this middle sector. Welshie's still in the pit, so he must have had some damage as to why Dean and others caught him very quickly, because that is a long pit stop. He's lost out to Bryn and JM Grill as well. Shane's also dropped to 11th place after his damage. And this for the lead then. Ugbar just seems to gain. And then the minute there's a good stretch of straight, Bozzy seems to pull a bit of a gap. Look, Ugbar closed a couple of tenths. The minute there's a good bit of straight like here up Horsepower Hill, Liam's just gaining a couple of tenths. Really ebbing and flowing.
Yeah, definitely so. You're just taking that line back away, haven't you?
Yeah, snatched it after your comment last week. I'm taking it back. As here comes that Bozzy Boy and Ugbar, not choosing to dive into the pits. If you're Little Leach here, Dan, do you dive in, undercut them maybe?
He's not close enough yet, really, for it to work. I think he needs to probably find another second than I would probably think about it, because look at the gap. They're just too far ahead. As Little Leach, sorry, that Buzzy Boy didn't have the best turn 1, and I think that's where he's struggling. And Ugbar's so good through turn 1, and now Liam is right on the rear of him.
Ugbar's on the rear of Liam, to quote. To fix your mistake there, Dan, but I know what you meant, as Liam comes back across and just left Ugbar just a car's width of room on that outside line and gets it stuck. You're right though, Dan, Liam struggled through turn 1 there, and is this just that Mercedes losing it again? But look, that good bit of straight look has gapped Ugbar a little bit more. So Ugbar, that's late on the brakes. That was bold, that
was a bit bold there from him, but he's not able quite to go on the back of it, as Bryn's had a moment. He was catching on the back of JM Grill was clearing Bryn. He's had another moment again, and he's hit the tyre wall. So Bryn will really be frustrated with this race as he's slowing down.
I think that is the soft tyre. You can tell who's on the soft tyre because it just seems to be burning up. Mother Davis, cheeky buggers. I watch most time and I'm waiting for Boris to leave. Lucas Roth, wheel is ready for the bin. So definitely wheel problems for Lucas Roth then. As once again, Ukbar in what seems to be this middle part of the lap has lost a bit of time to Liam then. So Liam seems to be struggling in Sector 1. Sector 2 he seems to make his gap, and Sector 3 it seems to both be kind of equal.
Yeah, it's strange what's going on between these two cars. That Bozzy Boy's had a mistake.
Yeah.
He's had a little bit too much power and he's gone a bit wide. That's going to allow Ukbar to get onto the back of him, and Little Leach now can smell another win here. And if I was Little Leach, I would now start to be thinking about a pit stop.
Now's the time, yeah.
If I'm getting this quick to the back of these guys, I would really start thinking about it. They're going to start fighting over one another. You're going to have clear track, but he's going to stay following them.
He is going to stay following them for the time being then. So it is Smithy Down have pitted as Ukbar pulls out to the outside line. Was a bit quicker than Bozzy last time round, but he's gone the long way. We've lost Bryn from this race. So not only will Bozzy have a qualifying ban for Daytona, but Bryn will as well. And his season is just unravelling at the last half here for Bryn. As that Bozzy Boy just leaving Ukbar enough space. Stealth Sloth comes into the pits at the end of lap 6. And that then, big wiggle from Bozzy. He just gave Ukbar, I think, enough space there, just about, and manages to hold on to this race lead. But he's coming under some pressure as Ukbar manages to save it from going off.
Yeah, he does, and all this is doing is helping Little Leach just creep onto the back of him ever so slightly, as it will Holty as well. So as Holty starts to catch these two, these three as well, he will start to be intrigued a little bit more after a good race one. So Holty, I think, will come away from this relatively happy. Smithy now onto the back of Stealth Sloth.
Yeah, Stealth Sloth has just pitted, so that's the battle that's resumed from earlier on. Dean's now up to 6th with DJ Phil into 5th place, so good bit of points for these two. Maybe with Bryn retiring, that's really going to allow Holty Welshie to get above him, and maybe even Dean to get closer to the back of him. Dean's some 31 points off the back, so he'll close the gap definitely, as we're losing drivers from this championship fight. DJ Phil and Stealth Sloth will exit the championship battle depending on the results in this race, as will Getting Quicker My Mate in the constructors depending on the points in this race. But obviously Dean on his own, no Leon Fernie tonight.
I would say keep an eye on for this. Well, I was going to say keep an eye on this man, but he just cuts the track ever so slightly there. How consistent he was earlier on.
Hit the tyre wall as well there.
Yeah, still Sloth's just lost the position. Ukbar is right on the rear of that Bozzy Boy.
Bozzy's pitting. Bozzy's pitting. So end of lap 7, Bozzy pulls the trigger. Little Leach in as well then. So they both pull the trigger over Ukbar. Now can Ukbar with clear track get a good lap to get ahead of that Bozzy Boy? It's all about this stop. Lap 8 of 14, end of lap 7. They're in. Is Little Leach. Bozzy's pit box is down a bit further. It's not a quick stop this for Little Leach. It's a better stop for that Bozzy Boy. As Holty come in as well.
Holty has come in. He's at the last running of the Teletubby Motorsport, as obviously Keats won't be able to.
Now, actually, Teletubby Motorsport pulled some points back over. Pick and Mix pulled some points over Teletubby Motorsport. Good stop from Holty. Now then, as Dean's going to go around the outside of Little Leach, and Little Leach just gives him a tap as he drifts wide at the entry of turn 1. And Dean yet to pit, going obviously his long strategy here, and he's up into P5 ahead of Little Leach for the time being. With Lucas Roth retiring, Dan, this gives Pick and Mix the chance to come back into this race.
As Dean makes contact with Little Leach there, really didn't attempt to make the corner there at all by the list of things from Dean, so he's just made that mistake. Now Ukbar leads this race. Has he now thinking, right, I've got clear air, I'm not stuck behind that Bozzy Boy, I can run my race? But it's now Terminal Velocity Racing leading the way.
It is a 1-2 for the pair of these two, and away there you go here then. DJ Phil trailing Ukbar, but Bozzy Boy 3rd. Little Leach has possibly just lost a bit of time with that collision with Dean, and you're right, Dean just didn't seem to make the corner there, so not sure what that was from Dean. Dean might want to get it into the pits at the end of this lap. The question is, does this man pit at the end of this lap?
Smithy's had a moment there.
Yeah, that's going to allow Shane, who's 6 seconds off the back of him, to catch him. Welshie not had the race 2 he had compared to race 1. What do you do if you're this man, Dan? Do you stay in that clear air? Do you pit now to counter what Liam's done? What do you do?
Well, it depends on his sector times. If he's done very good sector times, then it might be worth staying out a little bit longer. And he comes towards the final corner now, and I think he is getting good sector times by the list of things. He crosses the line. Does he go faster? He's within his fastest, so he's got clear air. He's got the speed. So Ukbar choosing to stay out longer, but it's all about sector times, really. If you're able to do it, the Ginetta, obviously with the high downforce on the rear of the car and how much downforce this thing can carry, it really does seem to struggle in dirty air, and I think that's where Andy and Ukbar seems to struggle in dirty air, because once they're out on their own, the car doesn't seem to have any issues.
Yeah, it doesn't, you're right. And he's up actually on his delta time through Sector 1. So what response does Liam have to him? Obviously, that was Liam and Little Leach's outlap that time around. Dean, I don't think, came into the pits. There is a car slow. That is Dean, who is coming into the pits then at the end of lap 8. And you're right, Dan, it is all going to depend on what sector times Liam and Little Leach can now do in response to that of Ukbar while he's got this clear air out on track.
Yeah, but it is only just Ukbar and DJ Phil that we are waiting to come into the pits. But Ukbar is actually lapping a lot quicker than that Bozzy boy.
That was his outlap. Yeah, don't forget that was his outlap.
Oh, right, yeah. I know. I was looking at there's 20 seconds. Oh, that Bozzy boy has a big tank slapper there. And JM Grill has cleared Dean after Dean's been into the pits. His next target is this man, Stelsloff. But like I said, the gap was about 20 seconds when that Bozzy boy came out of the pits. And Ukbar's extended it to 23.1. He's 2/10 off his best. So right now...
it's going his way, isn't it? It's in his hand. It's there for him to grasp and for him to take. Clear track, as we've said. Swear down, I just heard a bit of a spinner. Not sure. No one I can see stopped on the track map. Now then, Ukbar up on his best lap. Does he complete this lap to maybe think of the fastest lap point? Does he pit? He's going to carry on his way. The problem is, Dan, this is a problem here. Now, while he's pumping in these sector times of 2:02.2, that is blistering pace. As Dean must have had a problem. That must have been the car I heard spinning off because Shane's now on the back of him. If you're Ukbar and you've got your radiator shut quite a bit... Oh, Dean's had another off.
Yeah, that's going to help Shane and Smithy out there. So,
Clark Walsh out as well.
Not quite yet, but he will do indeed. As there is Walsh.
Oh, that's crabbing. That looked like it was crabbing as he pulled away there. The thing for Ukbar here, as I was going to say, is if he's got his radiator shut a bit, and the engine damage might go up, and if the engine damage goes up, you're in for a bit of a longer pit stop if you choose to repair it. So Ukbar wants to maybe just keep an eye on that. Now, I don't know how Ukbar runs his car. That's just the way I know certain people do things. He's just got to keep an eye on his car and make sure that he's not sort of overheating his engine and getting that damage to his engine. At the minute, he's definitely not going to be overheating it because he's not following another car. But it's all about what he can manage.
It looks like his engine is sitting quite comfortably in that 100-degree zone. So he's not. The radiator isn't closed. So if the radiator was closed, that engine would be a lot hotter compared to DJ Phil. It's in the same place as well. That Bozzy boy's a little bit cooler, as is Little Leach.
Liam and Little Leach look like they've got air radiator open quite a substantial amount. James Grill's the hottest. Shane, Smithy, Welsh is fine. Dean's had a mistake, final corner. I imagine that's going to come back into the pits. I tell you what, Dean will not want to retire from this race because he'll want to qualify for next week. We know Dean's got some decent qualifying pace on a track that suits the Mercedes. He'll want to make sure he can qualify for that. Ukbar then leads this race, lap 10 of 14. The Ginettas have both got a pit and can't pit on the same lap, don't forget. So they have got a monumental effort here if they're to both pit. DJ Phil surely has to bring it in before Ukbar. What is Ukbar lapping this time around? A 2:02.3. Very, very consistent from this man. And very, very good at the moment in time. He's lapped Dean. DJ Phil, you'd imagine, Dan, with Ukbar not pitting, should really bring it into the pits.
Yeah, he should really, but he's not. He's had a spin. And if I was him now, I would be aiming for the pits.
I'd be pulling it onto the grass and getting in that pit lane, yeah, and I think that is what DJ Phil is planning on doing, and indeed he is. Look, Dean's stop is gone. You've heard his Mercedes pull off. DJ Phil is in the pits. Bozzy Boy and Little Leach claim that P2. Now, Dean is going to come out here right by Little Leach. Is he? No, Little Leach has him done. And for a second there, I thought Dean was just going to get off the limiter as Little Leach and Bozzy Boy was coming to turn 1. The gap is now 26 seconds. Liam lost 2 seconds last lap. Could be on for a podium still. I think he's well ahead of Holty, 10 seconds at this stage in the race. He seems to have had this second race under control a little more.
Yeah, a little bit more, but it all depends if Liam can hang it in there for the last couple of laps. Little Leach improving his best lap times at this stage. This man, Ukbar, is leading the way. Can he produce enough of a gap where he has a comfortable lead once he comes back out?
What is a pit stop here, by the way? I don't know what we've had for a pit stop. No, based off the first race as well, to answer your other question, neither would I.
It's around 25 to 30 seconds, I reckon. But these guys seem to be doing it a lot quicker. That's the roughly one with other circuits. Hockenheim was around 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But because it's a straight in and out, very short pit lane, I reckon it's only about 20 seconds. Really.
20 to 25, we're saying? Depending on the damage?
Yeah, depending on damage.
So then, Bozzy Boy might just be outside the window then, as this is JM Grill trying to get onto the back of Stealth Sloth, gain himself a couple more points. Not the race, not the night for JM Grill really. Yes, a great racing race, want to get a third, but big damage that cost him maybe a win, really. What would have been his first win of the season as Ukbar stays out on track. Lap 12. He starts and hasn't yet pitted. JM Grill now tucks underneath Stealth Sloth. Stealth Sloth can't defend that one as JM Grill's already there, and Stealth Sloth may have to yield that into this left-hander, but if he can keep it around the outside like he has done brilliantly, and taps the rear. Now, was that JM Grill turning in, or was that Stealth Sloth a bit too eager? Either way, Shane is going to say thank you boys for the carrots. Changed it
here. The place back by the looks of things. I think he's now lifted. Yeah, he has. So he has given the place back to JM Grill, but he's going to hit him again by the looks of things. Whoa! JM Grill right now must be
steady on. Steady on, lads, because now Shane's going to thank himself and gain a couple of places. Is he going to go around the outside of Stealth Sloth? Yes, he is. P8 for Shane, P7 for Shane on the back of JM Grill, and the Audi looks a good car at the minute. Shane once again lapping solid 204s. The man has got great front runner's pace. Just seems to struggle in qualifying, struggle in the opening couple of laps when the track, the pack's all backed up. What's happened to Ukbar?
Nothing.
The gap's down to 17 seconds.
Yeah, has had a moment somewhere. So Ukbar leaving it very late here, and it's now costing him this race. Little Leach could be on his way to another race win here, or Bozzy Boy could be on his way to a win.
If you remember rightly, back to Sakito, round 2 of the season. Little Leach catching that Bozzy Boy for the lead of this race.
Had a moment again.
Is that what this is for now? JM Grill has had a moment. He's dropped behind Shane and Stealth Sloth and has Smithy on the back of him now. Little Leach on for a double podium at least. Could we be speaking to the Dutch driver of Ukbar as well as that Bozzy Boy, who's, not lapping great compared to Little Leach, but he's doing his bit and defended well from Ukbar early on until he pitted and Ukbar took the lead of this race. So he's confident in his defence. And coming on to lap 13, Dan, Ukbar is anyway. He's coming around the final corner. Does he pit? No.
No. He's going to go to the very last lap.
So he's got to pit at the end of lap 13, because if he doesn't, it will be a disqualification from the race. That's what the game does. And look, a 2:15.5. And who was that? Oh, Smithy.
He's had a big moment now. That's allowed Welshie back through. Just playing in the sand pit a little bit.
That could allow Dean Wysocki through as well, because that, I imagine, is not going to get him to the end of this race. As Dean is he's 1 minute 3 behind. He's coming up. Yeah, I don't know. It depends if Smithy pits or not and repairs that damage, I suppose, as Bozzy Boy hanging on in there over Little Leach at the minute. And Little Leach choosing to go to the outside line. Now, this could be where Bozzy Boy's Mercedes just starts to come back to him. But it's not, I tell you what, that Audi, good straight line speed. And has Little Leach got that one done? No, you can see Bozzy's light still up the inside. Just runs a little deep and puts Little Leach a little deep. And that keeps Little Leach just having to patiently wait behind him once again here. And for that Bozzy Boy, it's again another defensive drive at the moment for Ukbar. He's got to pit this lap, and he's not really gapping that Bozzy Boy. It was 17 seconds. It's only gone up to 18. So maybe struggling. Soft tyres dying, engine getting a bit too hot, too worn. I don't really know.
I would say it's probably tyres more than anything. Maybe it's just a just got caught himself out, made a little mistake where he was just pushing a little bit too hard for the gap. But Ugbot has to pit this lap.
Yeah, he does.
Either way,
he does.
Either way, that Buzzy Boy's had a much better race too. But Little Leach and Holty really have been just. Holty's had a little mistake. He's just dropped off the back of these guys. But they've really been the guys to watch tonight. They've really put on a show here as Little Leach and Holty.
Vote out for driver of the day. Get your voting. If you disagree with who the drivers are on it, then put it in the chat who you think it should be. Evening to Jamie Brazier. Oh, I thought Ugbot was going to miss the pit lane there, Dan. He's got a penalty! He's not gone strong enough in the pit lane! Ugbot is throwing this one away! And that Buzzy Boy could be sitting on a race win!
Little Leach would know this now. He'll know that Ugbot hasn't got an opportunity. They've got one lap to do so. Ugbot's gone.
Oh, he's had a great stop as well. He's had a great stop as well, Dan. And he's going to come off the limiter. Now, Buzzy Boy... Oh, this will be close into the braking zone. I tell you what, Ugbot comes out just in front, but on the last lap of the race, Dan, has got to get 10 seconds. Otherwise, he's down in third. In fact, Holty could even pip him here. Holty's right on the cusp of that 10-second mark.
He is indeed. It's down to Little Leach and that Buzzy Boy. Little Leach knows there's a win here. He can see that Ugbot has got a 10-second mark. He can see Ugbot. He's now just got to try and force Liam into a mistake. But if these two too busy facing each other, Ugbot's 10 second might go out the window here. That Little Leach has got to run. That Buzzy Boy is a little bit late to come across, but Little Leach has got the run.
He has got the run as Buzzy Boy's going to try and cut tuck underneath him, but he can't get that one done. And a big snap from Liam as he gets very close to the back of Little Leach. And has he just lost this race? He doesn't want to fight too hard and maybe lose the podium. A second place for Liam, considering that he's missed a few races with work, is a fantastic result on a broken wheel. Ugbot, though, has really thrown the kitchen sink at this, but he's losing this race. Holty is getting closer to that 10-second mark.
Oh, it's going to get tight for Holty. Can he get himself back on the podium? It's all down to Ugbot nailing the final lap here, making sure he gaps him. 11 seconds now, but it's just that yo-yo effect at this stage. Ugbot will lead on track. He's had a wiggle, though.
He has had a wiggle, and for that Buzzy Boy, has he just came to settle for second place? What a result, though, after race one not going his way. Little Leach into the chicane. What's this? 10 and 11, I do believe, up to 12 and 13 up Horsepower Hill. Could be where Holty will gain his advantage. He just needs to start committing into a few more corners a bit more. Is this where Liam has one last roll of the dice to maybe take this race win away from Little Leach? I think he's too far back, though. He's going to need a mistake from this man at the final corner. But for the time being, it is going to be Ugbot who will win this race, but he's not, because it'll be Little Leach to do the London buses. He's not won since race 2 at Road America. It's back-to-back wins, and Liam, well, that'll be penalty points for him, but a second place nonetheless. Definitely penalty points for spinning across the line. That's just the mandatory rule. Holty did not get that third place, so Ugbot hangs in there for third place. Holty will finish in P4. Good result for him. DJ Phil, not a bad set of points for P5 though, Dan, as well.
Much better race for DJ Phil for race 2. Much more consistent and able to score good points here as well. So DJ Phil will be happy with that one. Philosophy, terminal velocity. I can't even say the name.
Terminal velocity racing.
They'll be scoring big points there as Liam's disconnected, so that's even better. So we can't get the final classifications.
I don't think he had the fastest lap, but yep, cheers Liam for not staying in just in case you did have the fastest lap. JM Grill, Welsh not the second race they'd have wanted as Shane crossed the line. P6 for JM Grill. It is going to be a 7th place. We'll have to get Buzzy Boy and Ugbot in for a quick chat. 7th place for JM Grill, 8th place for Welshie, 10th place for Smithy, and 9th for Stealth Sloth. Just dropped away at the end. We await then the fastest lap of the race, Dan, and while we await that, who are we waiting on? I think we're just waiting on Smithy. While we await the fastest lap of the race, we also await what could be a fantastic look at the championship points. Oh, Dan, I've had a look.
Sorry, excuse me.
Oh, the Constructors' Championship looks interesting. Right then, fastest lap. Ugbot a 2:02.3, and that wasn't beaten. So Ugbot will take the fastest lap of the race. So get Buzzy Boy and Ugbot in for a quick chat. I'll sort the championship tables out. No, you already have. Brilliant then. So hopefully Uckball, Little Leach and that Bozzy Boy come in to have a quick word. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, it's a 47-point gap, Little Leach to Lucas Roth. So it's it's advantage back to Little Leach with 6 races left in the championship. James Grill, 55 off the back, with Uckball 70 off the back. Holty goes above Bryn and Welshie. He's 97 off the lead on 185. Bryn on 177 loses out a couple of points to Welshie there. He's on 173. Dean Wasocki on 151 with Smithy on 139. Stelsoft tied with DJ Phil. They cannot win the championship. Shane gets to the 100-point mark and that Bozzy Boy on 75. The Constructors' Championship, Dan, is down to 1 point.
Ooh.
But in the way of Pick and Mix Motorsport, they lead from Teletubby Motorsport by a point. Terminal Velocity Racing, 3rd place, 90 off the championship lead. My Mate Racing go back up to P4 ahead of MC Motorsport by 11 points. Super Crash Bros, and then getting quicker, My Mate, who cannot win the Constructors' Championship either. And I believe we've got Uckbar and Little Leach in, so we will speak with Uckbar at the minute. Uckbar, just a shame you lost it at the end.
Yeah, that's right. I made a mistake in the corner, wrong round, so that cost me a lot of time. And when I had to pit, I took too much risk to get away as fast as possible. But, sadly not 10 seconds.
Was a good race from yourself though. You had a good little battle with Bozzy Boy early on in the race. You managed to get ahead of him in the pit stop and really pump some lap times in that clear air, which gave you kind of an advantage.
Like I said before, the Ginetta is a hard car to drive in dirty air. But once you get in clean air, it's I guess one of the most stable cars there is in the
Well done on tonight's race. We go to Daytona next week. Not really a track for the Ginetta, but I suppose it's going to be about what you can do in it and what setup you can sort of make. What are you thinking for Daytona?
I was in the Mercedes. I was always pretty strong, so I hope I can get a decent setup and that it stays stable. But I'm afraid I'm gonna lose it on horsepower.
Well, best of luck for next week. Well done on the 3rd place tonight, and we'll let you get back to it. And I think we need to wrap this one up a little bit sharpish, don't we, Dan? Because this man's got something to watch on the telly. 2 wins tonight, buddy. But it wasn't easy.
No, not easy. Some both good races, to be fair. Buzzy was keeping me honest for a few laps.
He managed to just make a little mistake which got you the run up the inside of him, and I bet your eyes must have lit up when you saw Uckbar got the 10-second penalty.
Yeah, I did say to Smithy in the party, I did say Uckbar's just got a penalty. All I've got to do is overtake Buzzy, and luckily he made a mistake. Audi really good tonight, but we go to Daytona next week where it's, again, like the Ginetta, maybe a bit down on power compared to that Mercedes-Benz, but you've always gone well at Daytona in the past. I do like the American track, so let's hope I can make it up on the inner part rather than the outer. Obviously, we go back a few seasons where you had that strategy on the wet weather, and you started on the wet tyre and won the race. You know, could it be one of them if it rains next week? Possibly. Who knows? We'll see. Well, well done tonight, Craig. We'll let you go off and watch your telly, and well done. Best of luck next week as well. Oh, all right. Oh, fair enough then. Well done, Buzzy. Well done, Craig. We did get Bozzy in. Dan, final thoughts from yourself and your driver of the day.
I do love Bruno. Even though we don't talk about Bruno last season, I do love this second. Always produces some great racing. The Pro-Ams put on a good show tonight. Not much noted down as well. So you know what that means for tomorrow night for the pros. Make sure you tune in because there could be absolute hell as there is rain lurking around. But I've also got to say, driver of the day for me, Little Leach is definitely going to get a shout out from me. But I'm going to say Holty for driver of the day with that Mercedes car, really struggling to keep the power down, but he definitely was the best of the Mercedes drivers tonight for me. Yeah, indeed. Little Leach gets the driver of the day from the fans vote in the chat. I'm going to go Little Leach for driver of the day, but a great shout out for Holty as well. The best of the Mercedes.
What can Lucas Roth do? The Constructors' Championship swings the way of Pick and Mix Motorsport, and the Drivers' Championship with 6 races left is swinging in the way of Little Leach. 162 points up for grabs in the Drivers and a 47-point gap. It's 282 in the Constructors and a 1-point gap. Anything can happen. And you'll have to find out what happens at Daytona Road Course for the evening race time zone at Daytona next week. 5, 6, 7 and 8 for that one on the track times. We'll see you though at 8 p.m. BST next Wednesday night. Join Dan Davis and Jamie Brazier in the commentary box tomorrow night for the pros. Myself and Overtaker going hard at it with 8 races left. 8 points in the championship. But there's that man Fury once again becoming a bit of a nuisance, and he's creeping his way back into this one, as well as the master of the Send It when he's on the pad. Sooty Apex, can he do anything tomorrow night? Join myself live Sunday night 7 p.m. BST for the Catalunya Grand Prix of Barcelona. F2s will be back. Can Keegs take some fuel into his car? Can Dan finally win a race? Or is Jamie and Gary or Forzy going to add to their miseries? From all of us here at Simplay Motorsport tonight, thank you so much for the 300 subscriber mark. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Fucking going to get some laps in the air, him, Dan.
I just want to say congratulations, Little Leach, on making your way back up into pro.
Oh, cheers, mate. Appreciate it. We've got 6 races left, hey?
I'm just getting my congratulations done out of the way now, because you're pretty much there, aren't you?
Dan, you say that, Dan. He's just texted me, I'm not available for the next 3 weeks. It's funny, that, isn't it?
Weird, that, isn't it?
Little Leach is available for the next 3 weeks.
Now what he's realised he's just done, he's like, shit.
No, Keegs will be back.
Oi, don't you go taking my teammate off me. You'll have to work hard to have Gary back.
You can have Gary. I might
Cheers,
get lonesome.
You can partner up with me if you want, Little Leach.
Biggs might be a free agent when Argent gets relegated. I know you and him's got, Audi. You could run the Audi together.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the normal one.
What a shit car.
Well, if you're in 24... mate, Acura. How good was the Acura around Bruno last season?
Yeah, but you sent me setups every race. It was a fucking nuts.
Fair one, mate. Fair one, mate.
I'm driving around on wet.
Oh, brilliant.